being recorded live. Got it. Thank you. So apologies and leave of absence. We've got none, I don't believe. So confirmation of minutes. Would someone like to move that? So Alderman Thomas has just moved the confirmation of minutes. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it unanimously. Consideration of supplementary items. We haven't got any supplementary items. Any indications of pecuniary and conflicts of interest? Being none, we move. Any transfer of agenda items? Being none, move on to the Sandy Bay Rowing Club. This has come before us before, but we had to go out and do some public consultation. Acting Director Fisher, would you like to say anything or say for this report?
Through the chair, look, it has been through committee before previously, and we did have one representation or objection to or comment on the proposal. In the report itself, it identifies the elements of the objection raised and the response, and I think that adequately addresses the concerns about and really which centres around public access ongoing. I think the club has demonstrated that there are significant benefits to the club and to the safety of their participants for having this ability to control vehicle access to that foreshore area. And importantly, I think one of the things we raised last time at committee was the club submit a landscaping plan, including furniture design, etc., to the satisfaction of the acting director prior to any on-ground improvements, and they've agreed to that. I think that's something that we were keen to have as well.
Good. Thanks. Would someone like to move the recommendations?
I'm happy to move it.
Yeah, thanks, Alderman Thomas. Any further comment? We did have a big discussion last time it was before committee. No discussion. So I'll put the motion moved by Alderman Thomas. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it unanimously. So we move on to the next agenda item, which is the bushfire one. Bushfire management strategy. Now, we did have a briefing by the Fire Brigade just prior to this meeting, but probably not specifically on this management strategy. Director Fisher, would you like to introduce this? Or
Yes, thank you, Chair. Look, very quickly, the draft has been through council before in terms of what we're proposing to do. We've gone back out and received a number of comments both from the community and from the Tas Fire Service specifically, and we've incorporated those comments, which was required some degree of editing, but improvements all round on that advice we've received. The bushfire management strategy as it stands now really, and I think it's irrelevant to refer to Phil's comments there, that we work very closely with the TFS. We've been doing fire for too much of my life to reflect upon, to be honest. But I think it's a really solid demonstration of the ability of the council as the primary landowner in the LGA to work with the primary response agency, being the TFS, and to prepare our land in a way that ensures that their quick response is effective and efficient. And I think that's really what our main aim has been in this bushfire management strategy, is to ensure that we do our role as a good corporate citizen and as a responsible land manager. And importantly, as Phil made it clear to you, to try and burn 10 hectares in a hazard reduction burn, sometimes it's easier to burn more as a wildfire and you get a lot more done and a lot less paperwork. But the adherence or the recognition of the other values of that land are things that we pay a great deal of attention to, and therefore we are very keen to ensure that the work we do in the city is undertaken by the City of Hobart, because we don't mind, we value the effort in planning to make sure that it's consistent. The really good thing, if it's approved, endorsed by council, this will go to the Bushfire Management Advisory Committee and be endorsed by them, which will make it a reference document for potential funding through the TFS model for things like fire trails and hazard reduction burning in the future. So it has a great sway and a great deal of benefit in our future management of bushfire risk in the City of Hobart.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Director. And I noticed we've got a smaller version, a plain English simplified version of the strategy as well, which is good as well, because I suppose the greater document is for the professionals, the planners and on the ground stuff, but for the general community, they probably don't wade through the whole strategy. Yeah. Councillor Burnett, Deputy Lord Mayor, did you want to comment? Yep. So go ahead.
Yeah, just I'm sorry that I missed the briefing previously, and thanks for this comprehensive report. So just in relation to getting it out for public consultation and getting it around, is that proposed for all suburbs, or how best is that going to be done? And a second question is around the burns. Obviously, it's been fairly wet. I'm just wondering about the burns coming into the season as well.
Through you, Chair. Look, and I didn't make the comment when Phil was on, but we work really closely with those suburbs which we are traditionally identified as high bushfire risk: Tolmans Hill, Mount Stewart, Mount Nelson, Ferntree, Strickland Avenue, Summerleys Road, etc., Lenna Valley. What we're doing this year is a result of, I think you may have been provided with an invite to a presentation at UTAS, I think next week, looking at Chloe Lucas's work, and we had that briefing from Chloe about the research that she's done about how people take on board knowledge and translate that into action about bushfire risk. We've taken that to heart, and we're organising, I think, a dozen street-by-street meetings, both in December and in January this year, to actually engage at a street level to talk to people about this, the plain English version of our bushfire management strategy, to say what we're doing, but importantly to reflect upon the properties on that street to say what they need to do and how they need to prepare their bushfire survival plan. I think that's from the research work that we've been provided with, that's the most effective way to engage people and to encourage them or elicit an actual response to them in how they are going to prepare for bushfires. That will, as I said, that's our plan. We're not doing the great big community meetings. We might get, Ferntree, our first one, we got 140 people there. I think we catered for 50, but that's just the way it is. I think a lot of people in those bushfire-prone areas are very aware. This will continue to, I suppose, give a finer detail advice to individual properties and streets so that they can prepare themselves. In regard to the second comment about hazard reduction burns, we've got, we would have 10 hazard reduction burn plans ready, up and approved and prepared, ready to go. We may only get a week or two in which we can actually undertake some of these burns. And therefore, having that preparation and the approvals and the plans ready to go and the notifications to neighbours is the only way that we can react in this sort of environment that we're now entering into. If you ask me a guess, I say it's an average fire season, always is. It's the best answer you can give to anyone who asks the question. But I suspect that we will have short, sharp grass fires. I don't think we're going to have a range of bushfires as such. But I also think that this season will lead into a higher fuel load next year. And we'll wait for that multi-year drying period to occur. And that will create the return of significant bushfire risk. At the moment, I think we're lucky. We've got some nice weather, and I reckon it'll rain till Christmas myself. But one thing that Phil did provide to you was the soil dryness index. Even after all the record October rains we've had, we still haven't got to zero. After 4 or 5 years of drought, we stayed above 150 through the whole of last winter. This year, we still haven't reached zero, and really that cumulative rainfall deficit will create increasing bushfire risk as the years progress. We're ready to do our burns whenever that opportunity arrives. I reckon we'll probably get a week or two, and then it'll turn into wet weather again. That's just my hopeful, optimistic view of this season.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Any further questions? Would someone like to move the recommendation? Because it is a major bit of work and has been through before, but it's still important that it goes to council with a recommendation. Thank you, Deputy Lord Mayor. I intend, unless Alderman Thomas wants to make a comment, I intend to put that. Those in favour say aye, those against say no. The ayes have it unanimously. So thank you for that, and thank you, John, for good work. So we move on to committee status report. So have a motion to accept the recommendation. Thank you, Alderman Thomas. I put that. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The next one is a response to questions without notice. Someone like Deputy Lord Mayor, would you like to move the recommendation? Thank you. Put that. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it unanimously. Any questions without notice? I've probably got one which referring to. What about, you mentioned a whole heap of, Director Fisher, you mentioned a whole heap of suburbs which are clearly bushfire prone. What about the upper ends of West Hobart, or even, upper ends of West Hobart, where it borders Knocklofty and Sandy Bay as well, borders bushland? How are they being treated any differently than Ferntree and etc.?
Yes, no, look, that is Enterprise Road, that sort of area. They're all on our list of areas to engage with. And look, if we find that these events are really popular, I'm happy to recast another set. I'll keep on. If anyone wants a street tree meeting, I will direct Elise and Alan to go out and do that. Because in reality, if I can reach people and get them to take action to protect their property and prepare an effective bushfire survival plan, I can put my hand on my heart and say I did all that I could to enable people to protect themselves. So if we need more, if they're really popular, I'll run another dozen. It doesn't bother me at all. I think it's a really, from the research we've done, a really effective tool. And if I have to get my crew, these are all being done on a Saturday, so people are available to attend, and all of the staff in the Fire and Biodiversity team have put their hand up to present to that. And that just demonstrates the commitment they have to what we're doing. So if it looks like it's a popular thing, we'll run some more.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And just as a supplementary comment, a lot of tree huggers have come down to Hobart, and I know Forest Road in the 1967 bushfires, the fire actually got more than halfway down the road near to Goulburn Street Primary School, burning a lot of houses. So as a conduit into the city, just a last minute change of wind, it could have got right down into the city. Anyway, thank you for that. Any further questions without notice? Being done, would someone like to move a recommendation to go into closed? Moved. Thank you, Alderman Thomas. Put that. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. We'll close the